Today I'm going to show you how to make this I think it's a fun little project. It's a crossbody purse, and we're going to be using this Woolies Thick and Quick yarn. It's a super bulky yarn, 6, and we're going to use a crochet hook size 10 millimeter in /15. Okay, so to do this project, we're going to use the half double crochet stitch throughout the entire project, and we're going to create a rib stitch. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and I would say this project is for someone that knows how to crochet a little bit. A beginner can pick it up. There are a lot of pieces to it, and it's going to be a little long. So I'm going to show you here how to do your slip knot. And then once you've created your slip knot, you're going to put the loop onto the crochet hook, and then you're going to kind of pull tight to get, nice tension. And then you're going to need to create a foundation chain of 42. So you're going to do 40 plus 2. And I'm going to show you how to do that here. If you've not done a foundation chain before, you can check out one of the videos on my channel. I do have an instructional on how to do a foundation chain. Okay, so once you have your foundation of 42 completed, we're going to complete a half double crochet stitch. So you're going to count over 2, and in the 3rd stitch you're going to actually create your first half double crochet. So there I'm just showing you where you're going to place your crochet hook. See there? 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to pull through. You'll have 3 loops left on your crochet hook. You'll yarn over, and then you'll pull off the bottom 3, leaving that top loop on the crochet hook. And I'm going to show you this a few times. So find the next stitch over, and then you're going to go ahead and insert your crochet hook, yarn over, which just means putting the yarn behind the crochet hook, and then you're going to pull off the bottom 3. And you'll continue doing this all the way down your foundation chain. See there? I'm just trying to make sure that you're clear on this part of it, because the foundation chain, obviously, for a lot of crocheters is the most trickiest part, because you have to work back through your stitches. Excuse me. But if you can get this part down, then your project will go through pretty smoothly. Okay. Now once you get to the end, you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to turn your work. And this little portion here is a little different. I thought I had recorded a full video, and I did not, so I had to go back in and put this in there. So don't be alarmed because it looks a lot shorter. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew how to do a rib stitch. So here I'm showing you how to do a rib stitch. Okay, so you're going to yarn over. If you turn your work to the side, you'll see V's. So there's the front hole, and then if you turn it to the side, you'll see like a V stitch. You're going to put the crochet hook in that back loop, in that back part of the stitch, and then you're going to create a half double crochet there. I hope that makes sense, and I'll show you again. Okay, and what that's going to do is that's going to create a rib look to the project. So it's important that you get that if you want to have that rib look. And just make sure you put the crochet hook in the back loop of the stitch. Okay, and just continue that all the way down your foundation chain, and remember yours is going to be 42 or 41 stitches that you have to work into. Okay, and just make sure that you grab that chain 2 loop I hope that makes sense. Just kind of rewind that part there if you didn't catch it, but you want to make sure that your rows stay even. So you'll want to put a half double crochet into the chain 2. So then we're going to skip that first stitch, and then we're going to insert our crochet hook in the second stitch of the next row. And you're going to just continue this for the entire project. That's all we're doing. We're going to just do a half double crochet stitch in the back loop until we get 20 rows completed. So just continue working that. If you need to slow this section down, you can, so that you can get it. Okay. Here I am. I'm just showing you that I'm further along. I have continued to work the project. And I don't know if I said already, but you will be using 2 skeins of yarn for this project. So here I am. I've run out of yarn from the first skein, and I'm going to join on my second skein. So I'm just going to tie a knot, and I'm going to show you how I do that here. See, just if you can catch it, just make a little X and then put a piece under, and it's easier to for you to look to see how to tie a knot versus me trying to explain it. Okay, and just make sure you pull it tight. You don't want that knot to come out. And then once you have that secure, you can then cut off the excess. Okay, that's good and snug. So then after you've done that, you'll just continue to work creating a half double crochet in the back loop of the stitch until you have the desired rows. So now my purse or my bag has 20 rows, but if you wanted a smaller bag, then of course you can always change it up and do less rows. So here I'm just kind of showing you what it looks like once you've created 20 rows. So I'll show you how to count that. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then you have 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So that's the number of rows that I wanted to complete my my purse. Okay, and then once you have that, essentially you're just going to fold it over. So I'm going to show you all these steps here, but this is a really simple project, I think. So here I am, I'm just finishing up my work, and I'm just folding the I guess I don't know what to call that piece. The completed crochet piece. Okay, so now here, this is how I created my buckle for my belt, for my purse. I had an old belt that I no longer could fit, and I just cut the buckle off of that belt. Now if you don't have an old belt, you can use a button, or you don't have to use anything at all. You know how I do my projects, I tend to like a little bit of embellishment, so I just upcycled an old belt. Okay, so at this point I am comfortable with the size of my project. I'm going to go ahead and finish off my work. So all we're going to be doing is running a stitch all the way down that side and down the bottom, and that's going to create our purse. So I mean, it's really simple when you think about it. So here I'm just going to cut some string, leaving a really large tail because I'm going to use that tail to sew. Okay, and I went overboard with the amount of string that I left, but I just wanted to make sure that I had enough. And then the rest of that yarn, we're going to use it to create a few more pieces for the purse. Okay, so I'm just finishing off my project. And remember, to finish off your project, you're just going to yarn over and then just pull through that tail. And because we're leaving a whole bunch to sew, you got a lot to pull through. So just keep on pulling until you get all of that the tail end out. Okay. Now, you guys know I am not a sewer, but I'm getting a lot better. So I'm going to show you how I stitched up my purse. So I went ahead and I'm using these really big plastic yarn needles, and you can get these at any of your local craft stores. I'll leave a link as well in the description. Probably I'll put it on my blog because that's easier for me to put all those links. So now you're gonna just okay, so here I am. I'm just sewing the pieces together. I'm just taking up, putting the needle through one loop through one side and then pulling it through the other loop on the other side, keeping it very even. Now you just want to take your time because this is your purse. You do not want it to fall apart when you start putting your contents in it. So I've kind of sped it up here just for filming purposes, but make sure you're not leaving gapping holes. You want it to be very close together because you don't want anything to fall out. So once you've done all of the sewing along the bottom and the sides, you now have a functioning bag. It's just not cute yet, so we're going to work on the cute factor now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end the sewing portion of putting the bag together, and here I am. I'm just going to weave that tail kind of back through the project just to make sure that it stays really secure. Okay, now you see the fabric over here off to the side. I was gonna line the purse, but then I decided no, I don't want to do that, so I'm not gonna line it so the fabric's in the picture, but it's just because I was going to line the purse and I decided I wanted to kind of keep this a simple project, so that's why that's there. So on both sides I had some tails. I'm gonna go ahead and just weave those in, and then I will cut the excess off. Okay, so the most lengthiest part of this is really constructing everything, but it's still not that long. So there you have it. You have the beginning portion of a purse. Okay, here comes the embellishment. So I have that belt buckle, and I'm just kind of centering it. Now if you follow my channel, I am not about the exact science of things. I really just go by looking at it and seeing if it looks good to me, and then I kind of just go with that. I don't sell my work. I do, give it away. If someone wants me to make them something, I'll make them something. So it's not about being exact. It's just more about, what looks good. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want my buckle, and I'm just showing you if you don't have a buckle, then you can put a button if you want it. And a button is actually a little bit more simpler. Okay, so that's how that looks so far, and I'm going to show you now how to make the crossbody strap. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, the way I decided how long I wanted mine, I just took a scrap piece of yarn and I just kind of attached it to the bag with some bobby pins, not bobby pins, sorry guys, safety pins. And I went to the mirror and I just kind of measured it to see how long did I want this purse to, where do I want it to fall. And then once I did that, then I measured that string to see how long I needed to make my chain. Okay, so that's kind of how I come up with my measurements, but it's going to all depend on the size bag that you want, your height. I ended up doing, I think was 47 inches, and to me, I'm 5'5", that still was a little bit too long. So I probably would do 40 inches because the bag itself is going to allow the strap to stretch. So, it's up to you. So here I am. I'm just going to go ahead and create a foundation chain, and like I said, I did not count. I do not know how many stitches I made here. I just continued to make them, and then I measured. So I had already done my my pre-measuring, and I just used that number to determine how many stitches I needed, if that makes sense. So here I am. I'm just showing you how I did the measuring, and like I said, keep in mind that this will stretch because we're using a half double crochet stitch. It kind of has some stretch in there. So if you make it 52 or 42, it's going to stretch probably another 5 or 6 inches, and so just keep that in mind. Okay, so once you've done that, I'm now going to do single crochet stitches down the foundation chain. So I created my foundation chain, and now I'm just doing single crochet stitches. So in this section here, if you're not familiar with how to do a single crochet stitch, just kind of back up and just look at it here, or you can go to my channel and look at the tutorial. But I think you can catch it here if you just kind of slow it down and go back a little bit. So I did one row of single crochet till I got to the very end, and then I did a row of half double crochet, and I'll show you how I did that. So here I am at the end, and I've completed my last single crochet. I chained 2, and then I'm going to turn my work, and then I'm just going to do a half double crochet straight into the center hole. I'm not doing like a rib stitch like I did before. This is just the part that goes across your body that holds the purse. So I guess the strap, that's all that this is. And again, all I'm doing here is I'm just eyeballing it to see how thick I want my strap. So for me, I was going to make it a little bit thicker, but once I finished it, I felt like this was a perfect size strap. So I didn't go with any more rows. I just did 2 rows, 1 row single crochet, and then another row of half double crochet. And to me, that's perfect size for me. So if you wanted a thicker strap, then of course just chain 2, turn your work, and then do another row. Okay, so here I am. I'm just finishing off my work, and we've done this now a couple of times. Okay, so now we have yet another portion of our purse completed, and I'm just showing you how that looks. It's a row of single crochet and then a row of half double crochet. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we, I guess we can call this piece like the tongue that's going to kind of hold the bag closed. So we're going to do just a little piece to do that. And here I am, I'm just kind of showing you. I'm not really sure why I did that, but basically I just wanted to kind of get an idea on how long and how wide I want the piece to be. So I'm going to go ahead and create myself a slip knot, and then I'm going to, for the tutorial, I did a chain of 6, but I went back later and I adjusted it so that it was a little bit smaller, and I just did a chain of 4. So you won't see that here, but the concept is still the same. And then 2, if you don't have a buckle and you're using a button, then you don't even have to do any of this really. You know, you wouldn't have to do this part of it. Okay, and then I'm just going to complete a half double crochet down the short little row, chain 2, turn my work, and then just kind of keep going, if that makes sense. Just keep watching. And I'm going a little faster here just because we've already done half double crochets this entire project, and I think you're probably comfortable with doing that at this point. You see here, I'm just measuring it to see, does it fit my buckle? So now all I'm doing is, now that I have the width that I'm looking for, I just need to go up to the height that I'm looking for. And because everyone's purse is going to be different, because if you have a different size buckle, you're going to do the same type of thing I'm doing. You're just going to do some self measurements and determine how big you want your little tongue thingy to be. That's the official word, tongue thingy. Okay, so there you have it. That's what mine looks like. So I just created half double crochet to the length that looks like about 6 inches, and that's how it's going to sit. So I'm going to show you how the tongue works. I don't even know if that's a good word. The little strappy portion. Do you see? Isn't that cute? I love when I can put use to something old. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and sew on the buckle. The main thing I want you to get from this portion is when you sew on the buckle, you want to make sure that you don't go through the back part of the bag, because then you're going to be sewing your bag shut. So just make sure that you're only sewing through the first the top layer of your purse. I think that's clear. So yeah, just don't go all the way through. So that's the most important thing. And then you'll see here, you know, I can disclaimer this, you know, I don't sew, y'all, but just kind of get it on there, and I just make sure it's secure. Make sure it's secure. I did a whole lot of wrapping stitches just to make sure that the buckle stays on the purse, because who wants to walk around with a buckle that falls off? So that's that, and I'll show you kind of how I attached it a little bit more. So I'm just kind of going through the first layer, wrapping it around, pushing the needle back up through it, and then just kind of doing that. And I did it twice. So I went down it, and then I came back up again, and now here I am. I'm just tying a couple of knots to make sure that it's secure. And then here I am going to show you, I take that yarn and I'm going to push it back through the inside of the bag, so that way I can tie it again in the bag. So here I'll show you how I do that. I'm just going to see how I have that tail and it's to the front of the bag. I don't want that. Trying to make it as, you know, neat as possible. So now I'm just taking it and I'm pulling it back through the bag. See? Perfect. Now I'm going to open the bag, and then I'll just tie it, tie the 2 strings that I just put back there, and then just cut off the excess. See? Perfect little button. Or buckle. Okay, so here I am. Now it's time for me to attach the tongue to the closure part of the bag, and I went ahead and just put it through because I want it to sit a certain way. And now I'm just going to attach that top portion to the inside of the bag. So this part, like I said, is the most work, is putting everything together. To construct every little piece really doesn't take long at all, because as you can tell, they're not very big, they're not very wide, they're just, you know, simple. But putting everything together, especially if you don't have a gift of sewing, that takes a little bit longer. But the cool thing about this yarn, because it's so chunky, this is a very forgiving project. It does not have to be perfect. Okay, see how I have the little tongue there? It's attached, and I just tied me a couple of knots, and now I'm just cutting off the excess. I hate these scissors, y'all. They're just so dull. Okay, so there you have it. Now my bag is closed. Isn't that cute? I love this little purse. I really just use this one mainly to hold my crochet supplies, and I'm really thinking I want to add a pocket. And if I add a pocket, I'll show you how I do that in another video. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and attach my straps. And this is, again, not too difficult. Just kind of attach it the best way you know how, making sure that you don't go through both sides of the purse. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting them there to make sure that it's secure, so that I get them equal and even. And then you just kind of sew it up. That's it. So that's my purse, guys. Just sewing it up real good there. Look at that. Isn't it cute? This project really doesn't take long. Like I said, I think filming this took longer than actually creating it. So that's the cool part. And there you have it. That is the purse. Isn't it cute? So in the end, I'm going to show you how it looks when I wear it out. There it is. That's what it looks like when I wear it out. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please be sure to ask me those. And if you haven't had an opportunity to check out my last video, please be sure to do that. And here's just one more peek at the purse. It turned out really good, guys. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Bye.